Welcome to Void Realities, a place where restless minds can drift into wonder and where science becomes a lullaby for sleep. Tonight, we turn our gaze to the ultimate question: how did the universe begin? From silence to spark, from the first particles to the birth of stars, we will journey together into the origins of everything. So let your body rest, let your thoughts soften, and let the story of the cosmos carry you gently into sleep. How did the universe start? Close your eyes and imagine a silence deeper than anything you have ever known. Not the silence of a quiet room or a night without wind, but a silence before sound itself existed, a stillness before the concept of stillness was possible. This is where the story of the universe begins. Not in light, not in space, not even in time, but in something we can only describe as before. It is difficult to picture before time. Your mind wants to attach clocks and calendars to measure what cannot be measured. But here, there were no clocks. There was no ticking, no passing, no flow. Only an unbroken pause, stretching beyond imagination. You may think of it like the moment before you inhale, when your lungs are empty, yet full of readiness, when your body is perfectly still, waiting for the breath that will come. That is what the universe was. A pause, an infinite inhale waiting to be taken. And yet, within this pause, there was potential. The potential for everything, for stars and oceans, for galaxies and grasslands, for thought and memory, all of it contained in a state so compact and dense that our language strains to describe it. Scientists call this singularity. Not a point in space, but a state where the rules of physics we know simply dissolve. To rest in this thought is to feel small, yet also connected. Because the pause before the beginning is not something far away, it is inside you, too. Every time your heart rests between beats, you carry a piece of that ancient stillness. Every time your breath pauses at the edge of inhale, you echo the universe's first silence. The mystery of this beginning is both scientific and spiritual. Science tells us about density, energy, and conditions beyond measure. But the feeling of imagining nothing, true nothing, touches something soft inside you. It reminds you of sleep, of surrender, of drifting into a space where boundaries blur and everything becomes possible again. You are floating now in this vast not yet. There are no stars to guide you, no light to disturb you. Only an endless black that is not frightening but protective, like being wrapped in the heaviest of blankets, safe, weightless, timeless. As your thoughts slow, you begin to sense a quiet hum, a vibration beneath the silence. It is not sound as you know it, but more like the pulse of inevitability, the readiness of the universe to awaken. The hum builds, not with urgency, but with a gentle promise. Something is about to happen. And so, the nothing begins to bend. The pause begins to strain, like the surface of still water about to ripple. The silence holds within it the tension of creation. You linger at this edge, balanced between what was not and what will soon be. What happens when a silence finally releases its breath? What happens when the stillness of eternity can no longer hold itself in place? You rest here, at the very lip of the beginning, and wait for the first spark. The silence cannot hold itself forever. Like a held breath that finally releases, the stillness shatters into motion. In an instant too small to measure, the universe begins. This is not an explosion in space because there was no space to explode into. It is space itself bursting into being, stretching outward in every direction at once. It is time itself uncoiling, turning the timeless pause into a flowing river. Physicists call this moment the Big Bang, but the word bang feels almost too loud, too simple. It was not a single sound, but the unfolding of everything that could ever exist. Energy, matter, and time themselves were born in the same heartbeat. Imagine yourself floating at the very first instant. The universe is unimaginably hot, a storm of pure energy swirling in every direction. It expands faster than light itself, a surge called inflation, so quick and vast that within the smallest flicker of a second, the cosmos grows beyond comprehension. This newborn universe is not empty. It is filled with particles, tiny sparks of matter and radiation rushing and colliding in a glowing haze. You might picture it as a fire, but even fire is too gentle a metaphor. This was heat beyond imagination, 1,000,000,000,000 degrees and more, a furnace in which the seeds of galaxies slept. And yet, for all its violence, there is a strange calm to knowing it happened. Because from this storm, patterns would one day emerge. From this chaos, you and everything you know would slowly take form. Close your eyes, and you can almost feel it. The sudden stretch of space around you, the rush of warmth, the pulse of energy that has never truly faded. For the truth is, the spark of that beginning is still here. It lives in the atoms of your body, in the warmth of the sun, in the faint whisper of background light that still glows through the universe today. This was the universe's first heartbeat. And just as your own heart beats rhythmically, carrying blood and life through your body, the universe's first rhythm carried energy and matter through the fabric of space. It was not orderly yet, but it was alive with possibility. Scientists say that even the laws of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, the strong and weak forces that bind particles, may have crystallized in these earliest moments. It is as though the universe was setting its rules, laying down the foundation for every star, planet, and living thing to come. Pause for a moment with this thought. All of it began here. Not just the stars above your head, but the cells in your body, the memories in your mind, the breath you are taking right now. All of it traces back to this first spark of expansion. The silence has ended. The stillness has become movement, and you are carried along with it as though you are part of the unfolding itself. Because you are. The story has only just begun. From this spark, particles will dance and collide. They will form light and matter, shaping the cosmos into something ever more intricate. But for now, you float in the afterglow of the beginning, resting in the warmth of a universe newly born. The universe is still young, a fraction of a second after its birth, and already it is alive with movement. Particles, the tiniest building blocks of existence, burst into being and vanish just as quickly. They collide, scatter, and fuse in a dance so frantic that it resembles chaos. Yet from this frenzy, the first outlines of structure begin to emerge. Close your eyes and picture it. The cosmos is a glowing sea, thick with quarks and gluons, the most basic ingredients of matter. They do not yet form atoms, not yet the stars or planets you know. Instead, they swirl like sparks in a great furnace, binding and unbinding, finding partners in an endless, fiery rhythm. The heat is unimaginable, trillions of degrees, hotter than the core of any star to ever exist, and yet this heat is not destructive. It is creative. It is the crucible in which the very foundation of matter is forged. As the universe cools, quarks pair up in groups of 3, forming protons and neutrons, the sturdy seeds that will one day make up the nuclei of atoms. Electrons, light and restless, dance nearby, held at a distance by energy too intense to allow them to settle just yet. Photons, the particles of light, fill the space between, scattering constantly against electrons, bouncing from one to another like fireflies trapped in a fog. The universe is brilliant, yet its light cannot yet travel freely. It is trapped in this restless storm, waiting for the moment of release. And through it all, a balance holds. For every particle of matter that appears, a twin of antimatter is born. When the two meet, they annihilate in a flash of energy. But for reasons still mysterious, a tiny excess of matter remains, just a fraction more. Enough to build every star, every planet, every living being. Without this delicate imbalance, the universe would have been nothing but light, empty and silent forever. Float here for a while, inside this early storm. Feel the rush of energy, the ceaseless collisions, the raw potential in every flicker. Though it is wild, it is not meaningless. It is a reminder that even from apparent chaos, patterns emerge. Even from noise, a melody can be heard. Billions of years later, you carry the memory of this dance inside you. The protons formed in those early moments still beat within your blood. The electrons that once scattered the universe's light still orbit the atoms of your skin. The energy released in that first storm still flickers faintly as background radiation, reaching your body each night as you look up into the stars. This was the first choreography, the first great dance of matter and energy. It is both frantic and graceful, both destructive and life-giving. And though you cannot see it directly, it continues in every particle around you. Every atom is a quiet echo of that beginning. The universe has taken its first steps, transforming from pure energy into substance. And yet, the story is not finished. Light still waits to be freed. The cosmos still waits to become transparent. You are drifting toward that moment, toward the release of the first light that will paint the universe in a gentle glow. The storm of particles continues for ages, yet even ages in this young universe are counted not in billions of years, but in heartbeats of cosmic time. As the universe expands, it also cools. What was once impossibly hot and dense now begins to soften. The collisions grow less frantic, the energy less violent. A quiet shift begins. You drift forward through nearly 380,000 years after the first spark. It is long by human reckoning, but brief in the lifetime of the cosmos. During this time, the restless electrons finally slow, no longer pushed away by unbearable heat. They begin to join with protons, forming the first atoms of hydrogen and helium. And with this joining, a miracle occurs. For the first time, light is free. Before this, photons, the particles of light, could travel only a tiny step before scattering off an electron, trapped in an endless fog. The universe glowed, but its glow could never escape. It was as though the cosmos was filled with light behind a veil. But now, with atoms forming, the veil lifts. The electrons are bound into place, and light is no longer caught in the storm. It flows outward, racing freely through space. A gentle afterglow, the first visible breath of the universe. Scientists call this moment recombination, and the light it released still shines today. Though stretched and softened by billions of years of expansion, it lingers as a faint whisper known as the cosmic microwave background. It is the universe's oldest memory, a photograph of its childhood, painted across the entire sky. Close your eyes, and you can imagine yourself floating within that light. It is not harsh or blinding, but soft, even comforting. A warm glow spreading endlessly in every direction. It touches you even now, streaming gently into your skin and eyes, whether you notice it or not. Astronomers who tune their instruments to the right frequency can still hear the echo of that moment. The faint static that once filled old televisions, the gentle hiss between stations on a radio. These are fragments of the universe's first light reaching into your living room. And in this light is information. Tiny variations, gentle ripples in its brightness, reveal where matter was slightly denser, where gravity would later gather clouds, where galaxies would someday bloom. It is a map not only of the past, but of the future to come. Rest for a moment in this thought. You are cradled by a universe that still carries its baby picture, and you can see it if you know how to look. You are held by a cosmos that remembers its own beginning. This first freedom of light marks a turning point. No longer a glowing fog, the universe becomes transparent, open to itself, clear enough to allow structure to grow. The darkness you see between stars at night is not empty. It is filled with this ancient glow, stretched thin, invisible to your eyes, but always present, like a lullaby too soft to hear yet always felt. The universe has taken its first clear breath, it has opened its eyes to its own glow, and in that glow, the seeds of stars and galaxies are quietly waiting. You drift onward, carried by light itself, toward the moment when the first stars ignite, and the cosmos becomes filled with brilliance. The universe rests in its newborn glow. The fog has lifted, and light drifts freely through space. But though the cosmos is filled with brightness, it is still quiet, still waiting for its next transformation. And slowly, quietly, gravity begins its patient work. Every ripple in the sea of matter, every small unevenness left behind in the afterglow of the Big Bang, becomes a seed. Where matter is just a little denser, gravity pulls more strongly. Atoms gather into clouds, clouds swell into vast structures, and slowly, across millions of years, the universe begins to take shape. Close your eyes and imagine these clouds. They are enormous, so wide that light itself would take millions of years to cross them. Hydrogen, the simplest of atoms, drifts together in these vast regions, growing heavier and heavier under the pull of gravity. And then, when the weight is too much to bear, something extraordinary happens. The first stars are born. Deep within the densest clouds, hydrogen atoms are pressed so tightly that they fuse together, their boundaries dissolving, their union releasing a flood of energy. This process, called nuclear fusion, is the heartbeat of a star. It transforms simple hydrogen into new elements, and in the process, it shines. For the first time since the beginning, darkness is pierced by starlight. Imagine the universe in that moment, a vast ocean of night, suddenly lit by scattered fires. The stars are enormous, much larger and brighter than most of the ones you see today. They live fast and burn hot, their brilliance flooding the cosmos. With stars, the universe finds its rhythm. Galaxies begin to form, great spirals and clusters drawn together by the same gravity that first shaped the clouds. The cosmos transforms from a soft glow of background light into a jeweled sky, alive with sparks. And in the hearts of these stars, alchemy is taking place. Fusion does more than shine. It builds. Hydrogen becomes helium, helium becomes carbon, and with each step, heavier elements are born. Oxygen, nitrogen, iron, all the ingredients for planets, for oceans, for life itself. You may not realize it, but when you breathe, you are inhaling the gift of stars. When your blood carries oxygen, it carries the breath of suns that lived and died billions of years ago. When you touch the iron in your body, you're touching the ashes of stars. The universe, once only energy and particles, is now becoming creative. It is forging the very materials that will allow consciousness to arise. It is shaping the story that will one day be told through your voice, through your thoughts. Float here for a moment in the soft light of the first galaxies. See the clusters forming, the filaments of matter stretching like threads across the night. The universe looks like a web of fire, each strand glittering with suns, each intersection heavy with galaxies. This is not chaos anymore. This is structure, pattern, and beauty. And though the stars burn fiercely, they are not eternal. The largest among them live only a short while before collapsing, exploding in violent bursts called supernovae. In those final moments, they scatter their forged elements into the cosmos, enriching the space around them, seeding future stars and planets with the raw materials of life. The universe is no longer just expanding, it is building, it is becoming rich, diverse, layered with possibility. And as you look up tonight, every star you see is a quiet reminder of this moment. A reminder that your body, your breath, your heartbeat are part of this same cosmic story. But the story does not end here. The stars have been born, the galaxies are growing, and somewhere in their light, the seeds of awareness wait. You are drifting now toward the moment when the universe begins to know itself. The stars have come alive, galaxies have bloomed, and the universe is now rich with light and structure. But this story is not only about stars and galaxies, it is about what those stars create and how, in time, creation turns to consciousness. From the furnaces of suns, elements were scattered. Carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, iron, all drifted across the vastness of space, falling into new clouds, settling into new worlds. Planets formed, circling their stars, some barren, some rich, some still waiting for life to spark. On one small planet, in the outer arm of a spiral galaxy we call the Milky Way, something remarkable happened. Atoms born in the fire of stars came together in new patterns, arranging themselves into molecules that could copy, change, and grow. Life began. At first it was simple, tiny, fragile, just enough to cling to existence. But slowly, over billions of years, life grew more complex. It learned to move, to sense, to respond. It developed eyes to see the starlight, ears to hear the whisper of wind, minds to wonder. And eventually, on this pale blue dot, the universe became aware of itself. You are part of that awareness. When you look at the night sky, you are the cosmos gazing back at its own body. When you ask how the universe began, you are the beginning asking a question about itself. This is a quiet truth, but it carries a profound weight. You are not separate from the universe. You are not a spectator watching from the outside. You are a continuation of the same unfolding, a ripple of awareness arising from ancient stardust. Pause here and let that truth settle. The atoms in your body are older than the earth. Some were forged in the heart of long-dead stars billions of years ago. Some were born in the very first moments, mere seconds after the Big Bang. And now, here they are, assembled into the shape of you, breathing, thinking, wondering. The universe has given rise to galaxies, to stars, to planets, and to life. And in you, it has given rise to reflection. You carry within you both the question and the answer. Yet even with all we know, the beginning remains mysterious. Scientists trace back to the first moments, to the singularity, to the expansion of space, to the dance of particles. But what came before, if before even exists, is still unknown. And perhaps it will always remain so. But mystery is not emptiness. It is a space of wonder, a reminder that the story is not finished. Every discovery is a doorway to more questions, and each question keeps the universe alive in your mind. As you rest now, imagine yourself part of this grand unfolding. You're not merely drifting through the cosmos. You are the cosmos, drifting within itself. You are the silence before the beginning, the spark of expansion, the dance of particles, the release of light, the birth of stars, and the awareness of being. And as your thoughts soften, you understand. The universe is still beginning. Every moment, every heartbeat, every star that shines is another chapter, and you are living within it. Close your eyes. Let the story settle like starlight around you. The beginning is not only behind you, it is within you, and it is still unfolding. The story of the universe is vast, stretching across billions of years, yet it flows into this single moment with you. From silence to spark, from particles to light, from stars to galaxies, the cosmos has been weaving its endless story. And now, in the quiet of your breath, that story continues. You are part of the universe's memory. The same atoms that once drifted in the newborn glow now rest within your body. The same light that first broke free still falls upon your skin. You are both ancient and new, a child of starlight, a witness to beginnings that stretch beyond imagination. There is comfort in knowing that you do not need to hold the entire story. The universe carries it for you. It hums in the background, soft as the night sky, steady as the rhythm of your heartbeat. As you let go, you return to that original silence, not empty, but full of possibility. The same silence that once held the universe now holds you, gently, securely, endlessly. Close your eyes and let yourself drift with the stars. Feel the weight of time dissolve, leaving only stillness. Each breath is a reminder that you are connected to everything that has ever been and everything that will ever be. The story is not finished. It flows onward, through galaxies, through generations, through the quiet unfolding of your own life. But for now, you can rest. The universe is vast enough to carry on without you for a while. Breathe in the silence. Breathe out the wonder. Let the beginning cradle you as you drift into dreams.